Так, сейчас только проверю, что чатик, как обычно, не отвалился в помойку. Знаете ли, не хотелось бы, чтобы я стримил и не видел, что, оказывается, кто-то уже написал «О, привет». Ну, как-то я не вижу чата. Вот бы он еще подсасывался реально, ну, не через 2 минуты после включения потока. Я бы вообще был бы доволен, как свинья. Оинк. Так, ладно. Ладно. Чайник. Надо пойти смолу там забрать. Что-то так и не алю, реально. О, на ману.
This realm is truly beginning to thrive. I cannot help but be stirred.
Идите, он довольный. Так, ладно, все. Я починив. Так. Nope. О, я в прошлый раз стримил в прошлом году. Так, ты мне что расскажем? Квесты ивента, они засчитываются за дейлики? Прошлый год заходил один мозг на двоих. У нас даже шутки до сих пор одинаковые, хотя, казалось бы, целый год прошел. Так вот, да, считаются, все, я доволен. Спасибо огромное, это все, что я хотел. То есть это значит, что я смогу нормально поиграть. Если вы не выполните все задания, это не повлияет на игровой процесс. Рекомендованные задания не выполнены. Некоторые области или персонажи могут быть заняты. Также можете познакомиться с некоторыми персонажами раньше, чем это задумано. Выполнить рекомендованные задания, чтобы проходить события было приятнее и интереснее. Что там с этим капельмейстером? Квест Фурины, типа, ты не делала еще как... тебе не показалось, что ты чего-то не понимаешь? На самом деле идти раз, два, три, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 квестов я не закрыл уже. Задание персонажа. На самом деле, блин, нафиг надо это, да, плюс 2 часа нормально понял. Ну, как бы в любом случае сюжетку Фурина я закрыл, ну, основную фронтейновскую, так что я думаю, я, ну, пойму, да, почему она теперь кино снимает, так сказать, какого-то непонятного содержания. Так, грохот мушкетов разрывает тишину. Все, поехали. Так, не тот телепорт. Во. Так сказать, было бы сложно понять, если бы я бы не закрыл сюжетку, наверное. Это типа, есть вот этот архон, суды, а потом там начинается съемка Гачимучи.
Seriously? But, Mr. Morris, I don't understand, sir. How can you only be telling me this now?
Понял. Ну, посмотрим. Надеюсь, мне тоже понравится.
I'm afraid that there's nothing really I can do. I'm really facing a crisis. My hands are tied. But what about my film? Well, I'm afraid you'll have to come up with something on your own. Take it from me. Sometimes you just have to let things go. Same goes for this film festival. Oh.
Hey, isn't it Xavier? So he's back in Fontaine now. Xavier!
Oh, why, if it isn't the dear traveler and Paimon. I really didn't expect to bump into you here at this time.
О, давно не виделись. Ну, видишь, возможно, ну, как бы уклон на то, чтобы сюжеты становились взрослее. Во-первых, из-за того, что, возможно, они лучше продаются. Но это не точно, это просто мое предположение. А во-вторых, возможно, они просто учитывают, что игре уже 3 или 4 года, и, соответственно, 12-летние дети сейчас уже, ну, стали 15-16-летними, и они такие, типа, блин, наверное, нужно, ну, как бы развивать, так сказать, серьезность. Потому что текущие 12-летние дети идут играть не в Genshin, а в Fortnite.
Well, I was doing just fine until I received some terrible news just now. The investor I was working with for my upcoming film has
О,
fallen upon some
кого я
hard
вижу.
times and is no longer able to provide the promised amount of funds.
Can't you just find a different investor?
Unfortunately, that's not how it works. We had signed an agreement specific to the Fontanalia Film Festival, stipulating that I cannot work with any other investors until the festival is finished.
The Fontanalia Film Festival? What's that?
Oh, is this your first time participating in Fontaine's Fontanalia Film Festival? Then allow me to fill you in. The Fontanalia Festival was established to commemorate the legendary Loch Knights, who went on a quest to search for the Oceanids, and eventually welcomed the Hydro Arconageria. The holiday is deeply connected to the founding of Fontaine, as well as its unique laws and trials. It's one of the most important festivals for this nation.
But what's with that weird expression on your face? It's like you're trying really hard to remember something.
Ah, I was just trying to recall the exact description from the books, in order to avoid any unnecessary arguments over semantics. I usually try to recite things straight from the source.
Well, either way, Paimon thinks she gets it now. It's just like the Windbloom Festival in Mondstadt, and the Lantern Rite in Lille.
Yes, those are festivals of a similar variety.
Ща,
Who doesn't like a good festival?
минутку.
And just like those of other nations, Fontaine will hold a plethora of events around this time each
Так
year.
нормально?
To commemorate the Loch Knights, people will imitate them by putting on special
Могу сделать
costumes,
громче
raising
чуть через
golden
вот
cups,
так.
and going door to door asking for pure water. But a few years ago, Lady Farina started to find the whole idea a little drab, and so decided to change the part about pure water to sweets.
Really doesn't surprise Paimon at all.
The whole thing seems more akin to a carnival now, and it's quite
О,
popular among
сладости
the
лесут.
kids.
Ну,
Every
звучит
year you can
хайпово.
hear a bunch of them saying, "Trial or treat."
Ну что, я сделал погромче, но...
How does
Короче, я делаю чисто для вас. Для себя я хочу сделать отдельно попозже.
Ah, yes, it appears I've strayed
Ну
off
как,
topic.
мне не дадут в катсцене.
I just got too excited after seeing you. Let me get back to the point. The Fontanalia Film Festival is an event proposed by the Fontaine Film Association this year. Now that film technology has matured as a medium, it's the perfect time to introduce more people to the art form. During this time, people may submit films to be evaluated, and the entry with the highest score will be given the Farina
О.
Award by the
А премия
association.
Фурина от киноассоциации — это фигурка, ну, та, которую ты мне кидала, помнишь, там, с какими-то черными прямоугольниками. Если да, то я готов снимать.
The what award?
The Farina Award. You know, after the Hydro Archon. They coined it while Lady Farina was still in power, but even though things have changed, no one has made any motion to update the name. Perhaps everyone still thinks of it as a pretty appropriate name. Even though she isn't the Hydro Archon any longer, Lady Farina is still Fontaine's superstar. Anyone with eyes can see the way she shines on the stage.
Alright, guess the name does work pretty well when you put it that way.
Oh, but who would have guessed there'd be an issue with the funding? How will I ever explain this to Miss Chiori? Not to say all the other actors who traveled all the way here from Ina's.
Sounds
Не
familiar.
уверен, что
Where have
получится.
we heard that name before?
Так сказать, год только начался, еще очень долго. Давай мы попробуем это 31 декабря отыграть. Раньше пообещать не могу. Слишком велик шанс, так сказать, нагреть. Так, Дом Чуори, это там пошивная мастерская, по-моему, в этом Вон на зуме вроде.
Yes, that's her. I
Или
asked her
нет.
to oversee the event's art direction, including the design of the actors' costumes and appearances.
Oh, Paimon remembers now! Navia said that her clothes were designed by Chiori, and Kirara's outfit too!
How to describe her? Well, she tends to be pretty direct and can be very forceful when it comes to dealing with people. The fashion world in Fontaine has dubbed her the Thundering Seamstress. Her remarkable designs have led many Fontainians to become very interested in Inazuma. Anyway, Chiori is acquainted with all the actors I've invited from Inazuma. Without her help, I don't
Что это
think
за
we would have been able to
вопросы
get
в
such
стиле
an
тех, которые я
international
задаю
cast for the film.
Фасянычу?
She really is a kind soul.
Who are the actors from
Что это
Inazuma?
за
Do you
прогрев?
know them?
Ну, ща после
Why
катсценки.
don't the two
Давай
of you
диалог
accompany me to
дочитаю.
the Aquabus station to welcome them? Judging from the time, the Aquabus should be arriving shortly. Chiori will be waiting to meet me there as well.
О, красивая менюшка. Блин, такая... Вот реально, вот такую какую-нибудь менюшку себе бы на рабочий стол поставил даже. Вот эту. Ну, типа, если бы не было бы всяких элементов интерфейса и прочей дресни, да, мне прям нравится. Так вот, сколько? Ну, я бы сказал, что-то в диапазоне между 1,5 и 2 рюмками, да, с учетом того, что, ну, типа, шампанское, оно же седает. Мне было очень лень, ну, типа, там, доливать, вот. И рюмки имеются в виду не широкие бокалы, да, то есть, вот, меня помнишь. А знаешь, у меня есть, типа, узкие такие. Мини-играем бар, ну, посмотрим. Так, надо было, наверное, на лифте ехать. Сказать, это была ошибка. Ну, уж как получилось, так сказать. Ну давай, лифт, что-то такой долгий. Давай, не будь долгим. О, приятный подарок. Это мой несладкий приятный подарок. Так, магический супермеч высшего владыки. Ну, блин, не знаю. Короче, меня только смущает вот то, что нужно помогать этим мелюзинам. Мне бы так впадло было. Я предполагаю, что это потенциально интересный такой саппортский меч, но как лень. О, нужный этаж. Етить удобные, наверное, каблуки там, которые не достают земли.
Miss Chiori?
Your talk with the investor sure went fast. The Aquabus hasn't even arrived yet.
О, привет, Ханаби из Старрейла.
Allow me to introduce you. This is the Traveler and Paimon.
Pleased to meet you.
Likewise! We've heard the owner of Chioriya Boutique is a skilled seamstress, so it's a real pleasure to finally meet you in person.
Да, элементы костюма Нави великолепно сочетаются друг с другом.
I strove to create an outfit that matched her high social station as
Спасибо, дорогой.
So tell me, what happened?
С
I
Новым
can tell the
годом.
conversation didn't go quite as expected.
Ah, well, it's like this.
Ugh. Mm.
I know, Chiori, you don't have to say it. You did remind me that this investor was a little bit sketchy.
Yes, there's no doubt about that.
But how could I pass it up? He offered me twice as much as the others.
And therein lies the problem.
Yes, but just put yourself in my shoes. After obtaining such an excellent script, it's only natural that I would want to make the most of the film.
Ну, вообще,
The
реально,
budgets that the
дизайн,
others had
ну, по
proposed
одежде
were nowhere
прикольный,
near
мне
enough.
нравится.
It's difficult to find someone willing to front such a large amount of mora, so...
Don't be sad, Xavier. We might be able to help scrounge up some more together for you.
Oh, thank you, Paimon. That means a lot to me. But the cost of the film is staggering. I'm afraid that any mora we can scrounge together in a short amount of time won't even be able to cover the actors' fees.
We need to move on. What's happened has already happened, and there's no changing it. But now's not the time to give up.
What? You're saying that you have a plan?
No, that's not what I mean. I'm simply saying I wouldn't give up just yet. The actors I recommended aren't just after Mora after all.
Ну, впрочем, да. Типа, на думских у всех красиво выглядит дизайн.
Really? Then where do you live? We Malazines live in Marcy Village. The only way to enter is from underwater.
Oh, you must be pretty tired after work every day, right? I mean, you have to swim all that way just to go home.
You're so thoughtful. But some Malazines choose to live in the Court of Fontaine because it's so much more convenient.
This is our stop.
Oh, we've arrived, but I haven't even finished chatting with Aval yet. I also enjoyed Aval's introductions to Fontaine along the way. Everything you described was so clear and detailed that we can't help but want to hear more.
Thank you so much. I'm usually working here on this aqua bus, so I hope
О,
I'll have the
здорово,
chance to see you again.
Фасяныч.
There are
С
so
Новым
many more
годом
places I'd like to
тебя,
introduce
мистер
to you.
Дед. Как говорится, босс, а сколько ты выпил? Ладно, я шучу.
Welcome to the Court of
Мар-мар-мар-мар-мар.
Fontaine.
Chiori, you sure have changed a lot. This is the first time we've seen you since you left Inazuma.
I haven't realized it's been so long. I was in such a rush when I left that I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Thank you for extending the invitation,
Пока,
Mr.
босса.
Xavier.
А что ты
I'm
хотел?
looking forward to a fruitful trip here in Fontaine.
Ah, it's an honor to have the head of the Kamisato clan visit us.
So they are who you meant when you said you had actors coming from Inazuma?
Oh, it's the Traveler and Paimon. Wow, what a coincidence! Ayaka and I were just talking about you on the way here. Are you also here for the film?
We just ran into Xavier earlier and came over with him.
But I'm not an actress. Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka are the real actors here. I'm just tagging along with Ayaka to have a good time together.
Да, я думал, все главные роли в твоих фильмах мои. Эх,
About
меня
that,
нагрели.
how was I supposed to contact you when I was making preparations for the film? I figured you were probably busy, and I didn't want to disturb you. So I could only keep you in the back of my mind while I sought other actors to play the lead roles in the film.
I had been thinking about a surprise reunion with you during our trip here, but you still managed to surprise me first.
Oh, so you all know each other already! My, what a coincidence! What are the chances everyone could be brought together here like this? Why don't we go to Hotel de Boer and catch up over a meal? I've already made a reservation.
Huh? Did you reserve 2 spots for us too?
Yes, of course, of course. I'll be sure to tell the boss to serve a few more delicious dishes just to make sure there'll be enough food.
Very well. Then please, kindly lead the way, Mr. Xavier.
Wow, the buildings in Fontaine are so tall. Just look at how big they are. And there's the fountain that Aval mentioned earlier. It really is a magnificent sight. And look at that huge spinning sphere. Where does it get its power? Wait a sec. Could it be one of those clockwork mecha we've heard so much about?
В общем, я спросил у Фусяныча, что он хотел, он сказал, что он на работе, так что мы можем не принимать на свой счет, что мы, ну, напугали деда. Дед, так сказать, не планировал. Так персонажи с ивента, будто других участников не было, да классик. Так сказать, игры заранее учат детей, что, ну, как бы обычным людям, так сказать, рядом и делать нечего. Будут только эти главные герои.
So this is what food from Fontaine is like. It sure is different from what we have in Inazuma. How should I describe it? It seems like you have to go through a lot more steps to make them. And the flavor has many layers too.
Ah, yes. When I first went to Inazuma, I actually thought the food there tasted a little too bland. It took some time for me to get used to it.
Let's get back to the purpose of this trip for a moment, shall we? How have preparations for the film been coming along, Mr. Xavier?
Well, I've already assembled most of the film crew, a lighting specialist, a prop manager, and a costume designer. I've also bought the copyrights from the novel's author.
Oh, it's called The Two Musketeers, right? I read the script you sent me on the way here. The story is pretty good.
Originally, I was planning to start filming as soon as Sir Kamisato and Lady Ayaka arrived in Fontaine, but I'm afraid I've run into a bit of a problem.
Oh? What is it?
It has to do with the film's investor, Mr. Morris. He suddenly informed me this morning that he's encountered some financial trouble and will be unable to release to me the amount of funding agreed upon.
It's said that Fontaine's legal system is well developed. If he has violated the contract, then can't you simply take him to court over the matter?
Ah, well, I'm still more concerned about filming. Even if I were to take him to court, I'm afraid it would take months before the case could even be heard.
Then, is there a way we could raise funds ourselves to solve the problem?
I've considered that option too, but unfortunately, it's difficult to gather such a large amount of mora on such short notice.
В смысле? У меня
Besides, we have to
есть
consider the
20
film festival's
миллионов в
submission
инвентаре, я
deadline.
думаю, хватит.
Mr. Xavier, if Ayaka and I were willing to perform for free, would that resolve the problem you are currently facing?
What? No, out of the question. To have you come all this way just to act for free? Oh, no, that won't do.
There's no need to worry, Mr. Xavier. My brother and I had actually intended to work for free after receiving your invitation. Inazuma has only recently reopened its borders, and needs to strengthen its relations and cultural ties with other nations. We didn't have many collaboration projects with Fontaine in the past, so we hoped this trip would serve as a good start for the future.
Indeed. You could say that's the real reason why the Yashiro Commission agreed to come to Fontaine.
I understand, but having you two act for free just doesn't seem right.
Not at all. While we're officially here to conduct a cultural survey of sorts, we must express our sincerity if we want to establish formal cultural ties with your nation. This film will serve as proof of friendly cooperation and cultural exchange between Inazuma and Fontaine. It's my hope that the film can be finished and released as smoothly as possible. If you still don't feel comfortable with this arrangement, I would also be more than happy to be introduced to some other renowned individuals in Fontaine's literary and artistic circles.
All right, I'll do as you say. Thank you so much. I'll make sure to cobble together enough mora now, even if it means selling my house, my camera, and every single family heirloom.
Come on now, no need to go that far. I'll also help you out as a brand sponsor.
Да, и мы
Me
поможем.
too. Even though I didn't bring much more to spend on this trip, it's still better than nothing.
You are too kind, all of you. I really don't know how to.
Ew. Alright, enough about that. Now that we have Xavier's savings, my support, and 2 leads who are willing to act for free, I think we will be able to make this happen. So, instead of Mora, you'll help with filming and production.
Oh, but how can we help with that? We don't know much about making a film.
Alright, pull yourself together, Xavier. Tell us if there are still any open positions left among the crew.
All right. Let me think. We still need a camera operator, a clapper loader, and someone to manage logistics. I originally wanted to personally serve as director, but I've been too busy working as the producer. So the positions of director and director's assistant will also need to be filled.
Paimon knows what the director and the logistics support person do, but what's a clapper loader?
The clapper loader is responsible for using the clapper board to record and organize the information of each shot when the camera operator begins shooting. The work requires both patience and careful attention to detail.
A clapperboard? Oh, you mean the thing they hold that goes clap whenever they start filming?
Yes, that's right. Are you interested in that job?
For sure! Paimon's always wanted to try that!
Alright, then you'll be our clapper loader. I can find someone from the store to help with logistics. What do you think, Xavier?
Oh, fine by me. As for our camera operator, I was thinking of letting the Traveler take the role.
Oh, he's great when it comes to using a camera. Paimon can't even count how many things we've taken photos of during our journey.
Yes, that's also what I was thinking. I noticed the Traveler had an eye for photography and composition when we worked together previously.
I'm sure that's due to the traveler's journey across Devat and all the places they've seen. After so many adventures, using a camera must be second nature by now.
What do you say, Traveler? Are you interested in the job?
Ладно, я готов.
Thank you. It really means
Если
a
мне
lot to
дадут
me.
примагема.
Come on, friend. Let me give you a big warm
Привет.
hug.
Приятного аппетита, Хэви. Давайте приступим к
So,
работе.
all that's left for us to find is a director and an assistant.
Oh, me! I want to be the director's assistant. All we need to do is help the director, right? I can handle that.
All right, then all we need is a director. Oh, all the well-known directors in Fontaine are probably also busy working on their own films these days. I'm not sure who will have time to help.
Кушайте, кушайте. Я, кстати, заметил довольно интересный момент. Очень давно, очень давно нет больше ивентов типа сделать какие-то съемки на камеру. Ну, именно помнишь, был такой ивент, ну, что ты как бы заранее заготавливаешь какой ракурс туда-сюда, и потом ты там можешь как-нибудь персонажем прыгнуть, повернуться, да, и типа у тебя будет вот, ну, немножко нестандартный скриншот, который в свободной игре не сделать. Вот такой штуки давно нет, интересно почему.
Farina helped out a theater troupe recently by serving as an artistic consultant. She could be a good director, right? Besides, it's not like she has anything else to do right now.
Farina? Do you really think Lady Farina would be willing to help us with our humble project?
Isn't that the name of Fontaine's
Да не,
hydro
давно
oracle?
был, очень. Я
My
вообще не
brother
помню
has already
такого.
informed me about what happened here in Fontaine.
Yep, that's her. She helped out a theater troupe not too long ago, and now she's taking up work as a director.
Well,
I saw that musical. Her performance was perfect, and the storyboards were also excellent. Don't let her former identity intimidate you. She's the best candidate we can think of right now. You'll never know until you give her a shot.
fine. You're right, Shiori. I'll do anything for the sake of my film. Anything! Then I'll have to ask the Traveler and Paimon to show me the way to Lady Farina's residence. I just hope she'll agree to help.
Do you need us to also come along?
No, there's no need to trouble you with this. Besides, you've just arrived in Fontaine, and I'm sure there are many places you would like to visit. Just leave this task to me. It's part of my duties as the producer.
Very well. Then we'll be waiting to hear the good news.
I'll go with you. By the way, you might want to consider bringing a gift.
And don't worry, we won't simply drop you off at Farina's place. We know Farina pretty well by now, so having some familiar faces there should help your chances. Besides, the whole thing was our idea in the first place.
All right, then I'll start making preparations. As for the gift...
A gift for someone who was once seen as the Hydra Oricon. I wonder what she would like.
I recall that Lady Farina once fancied a clockwork ring, so perhaps I should get another
Pizza
exquisite
tort.
clockwork contraption for her.
Huh? Can't we just bring some desserts, like the Fontanalia mousse?
But wouldn't that be a little too cheap? She does like desserts, though.
Isn't the Fontanalia festival happening right now? I heard Aval tell us on the Aquabus that Farina introduced the tradition of going door to door and asking for sweets. To do something like that, she must have a real sweet tooth.
I agree with Yoimiya. If the gift is too fancy, it might actually make her feel more uncomfortable.
Alright then, let's go buy some Fontanalia mousse.
But will that really be enough? We'll be asking her to do a lot of work, you know.
You're right. We need to further sweeten the deal.
Huh? You want something even sweeter than Fontanalia mousse?
Yes, we'll need a gift that's sweeter than any dessert in the world.
But what could that be?
Your words of praise.
Что-то чихаю, не знаю почему. Блин, я думал, может у меня будет сколько-то круток. Я могу купить, блин, пятерик и их провернуть. Вот думаю, стоит ли. Да, вот это нагрев. Так сказать, прогрели. Я бы сказал жестко. Короче, ладно, я думаю, я куплю круточки. Стандартно. Чекай, сейчас мне упадет цица. О, молодец. Не, не упадет. Удивительно. Я искренне верил, что будет чича. Сейчас мне реально интересно теперь посмотреть, сколько у меня вообще прокручено. Я что-то думал, что я плюс-минус близко. А, не, я не близко, нифига. Все, вопрос нет. Все, я ошибся. Цицы, так сказать, только здесь. На другом прогревном баннере.
We're here. This is where Farina lives.
Okay, I'll go knock on the door.
Значит, в Старрейле Клара упадет. Просто. Я человек простой, так сказать.
Coming. Seriously, who's knocking before afternoon tea?
Who are you?
Lady Farina, please allow me to introduce myself. I am Xavier, a film director.
Hello. Oh, is that the traveler in Paimon I see behind you? And who's this?
I'm Chiori.
Ah, the one from Chioria Boutique. Hello, hello. So, what are you all doing here? Do you need something?
Did you just get up, Farina? It's already past noon, you know.
Будьте милыми, так сказать. Да не, я думаю, что парушка не такая
So
мощная.
nice in the afternoon and the sun is so warm. Just like how you make us feel. Sleeping in late is a really smart idea.
No. I was just up late last night reading some novels. What does sleeping in have to do with the weather?
This is a small gift we've prepared for you, Lady Farina. We hope you like it.
No need to be so formal. I'm just a regular person like everyone else now. Oh, is this Fontinalia mousse? It's one of my favorites.
That's great! So, actually, there's something we need your help with. Given your renowned passion and understanding of drama, I would like to ask that you serve as the director of our film crew.
Oh, but didn't you just say that you're a director?
Yes, but for this particular project, I'm mainly working as a producer. Besides, I'm sure that your understanding of the performing arts far surpasses my own, Lady Farina.
Are the Traveler and Paimon also part of the film crew?
Yep, we sure are. Paimon's the clapper loader and he's the camera operator.
Camera operator? That can be a pretty technical job, and it directly affects the final quality of the film. Are you really up to it?
О, хочешь, покажу, что умею.
No, I'm not questioning your abilities. It's just that I've never really seen you use a camera before.
Maybe you can come up with a test for the Traveler and see for yourself. If he can satisfy you with his camera skills, then you'd have nothing to worry about and can join the team. What do you say?
You sure are getting better at rolling with the situation, Paimon. Oh, I do wish to see how skilled the Traveler really is with a camera. Alright, how about this? We'll work with what we have. I'll give you some scenarios and see if your work is up to my standards.
О, давай.
Very good. It's essential for the camera operator to understand the director's vision. I'll make my decision after seeing your work. Are you ready? I have high standards, you know.
Окей, let's go.
Grab the camera and I'll give you a scenario.
Так, госпожа Сталь, хозяйка мастерской Бамот, очень гордится своей ковальной машиной, которая не только может контролировать силу и температуру, но и не требует от кузнеца никаких усилий. Давайте снимем ролик о ее мастерской. Не забудьте подчеркнуть уникальность ковальной машины. Ковательной. Необходимо снять несколько сцен, объявить их в фильм. Угу. Понял. Ага. 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 Да, конечно, интересно, интересно. Так. Мастерская Бамут — это оружейный, который используется в городе Фонтейн. Особая ковальная машина. Ну вот, соответственно, пусть будет вот. Ну, как бы, раз мы говорим про мастерскую, то вот кадр. Да, вот мы показываем это и даем это. Да, и чё? Надо все сразу же. Так, работа ковальной машины, вот, и механизм может очень точно контролировать силу и температуру, так сказать. Можно показать хрустель. Да, все, я понял. Можно, в общем, ничего не делать, работа делается сама. Нужно показать ящики. В мастерской все красиво и остро. И нужно еще раз показать мастерскую. Вот. Вот требуется оружие, выбирайте мастерскую, хрюстерскую. Это мне напомнило, была такая игра, и, ну, она мне нравилась. В Movies фильмы снимать. Очень похоже вот за счет музыки еще на фоне.
All the shots had a great composition, and I could really feel a connection to the characters and their lines.
Так что, будем работать?
Does that mean you agree to be our director, Farina?
Did you think I would agree just like that? After our performance of the Little Oceanid, I've begun to make a name for myself again, you know. In fact, I've already had several troops approach me for the Fontanalia Film Festival. Unfortunately, the scripts were all pretty boring and didn't pique my interest. If others were to find out I agreed to work with you so easily, then, well...
Hey, but didn't we have a deal? What else do we need to do to convince you, Farina?
Ну, ты знаешь, типа, жанр игр такой тукан, да, ну, вообще тайкан, по-моему, правильно произносится, но я говорю тукан, где ты строишь всякие там заводы, ну, не обязательно заводы, да, я помню игру Пятница 13, которую из продажи убрали. Вот, ну, типа, всякие там, не знаю, парки развлечений, больниц и так далее. Вот, короче, была такая игра в Movies, ну, она старая, ей лет, наверное, 15, мне кажется, или там 13, что-то такое. Короче, это был тукан, в котором надо было строить, типа, студию для съемок фильмов, да, и... Ну, она была реально прикольная. Ну, в принципе, мне очень нравились все игры Питера Молинье, пока его под жопу не турнули из всех адекватных студий. Вот. А как бы игры у него были довольно прикольные, креативные. Там вот именно был прикол в том, что ты строишь киностудию, да, там строишь всякие эти здания сценаристов, здания для звезд, всех там нанимаешь. Да, и там, условно говоря, занимаешься вот этим кинопроизводством. То есть там можно было вручную сценарий писать, можно было, ну, типа, а-ля автоматом, да, там давать писать этим сценаристам, в зависимости от скилла, там разное получалось, ну, и от, так сказать, технологической эпохи. То есть там, грубо говоря, если ты начинаешь там на самых этих доисторических временах, то у тебя там черно-белые фильмы с помехами, да, там, потом там, ну, получше качество, получше. Симулятор Кабара Маджима, да, но там прикол в том, что ты эти фильмы, ну, как бы после съемок можешь смотреть, и, ну, забавно, короче, это все выглядело. Вот, ну и опять же, там всяких жанров было много, и, то есть там с течением времени, ну, популярные жанры менялись, да, то есть там вначале это какая-нибудь там футуристика, и черно-белые фильмы с этими, с инопланетянами из Доктора Кто, с мусорными ведрами, далеками, ну, условно. То там потом, ну, типа, другие, короче, жанры, там, какие-нибудь вестерны, какие-нибудь бандитские фильмы и так далее.
Well, what about the pay?
Huh?
You know, how much you're willing to pay me to be the director? The pay is also an important factor for me to consider, you know.
Well, I can offer you
О, я в
this
первый
much.
геймдев Тукан играл.
What? That's all? If Nervylat were to hear of this, he could charge you with underpaying your labor.
I'm sorry, but our crew is in a tight financial spot at the moment.
I see. Well, even though it's highly unlikely now that I'll join your crew, there's still something I'd like to ask. Exactly what film are you planning to make?
Oh, our script is an adaptation of The Two Musketeers.
Huh? Wait, you mean the suspense thriller novel that was a #1 bestseller?
Oh, so Farina's read it too.
Of course I read it. I've always had a keen interest in artistic works that strike a chord with the populace. I see. It all makes sense now. You must have used most of the budget to pay for the copyright.
Not really. The novel's author transferred the copyright to me practically for free once he heard that I wanted to make a film adaptation of the story. The lack of budget is due to another issue.
He probably just wants to get his name out there. So, Mora isn't the most important thing to him right now. It reminds me of a delivery courier who wears one of my designs while traveling all across Teyvat. I didn't charge her much for the outfit either. The exposure she provides for my brand is well worth it.
So, are you a big fan of this story, Farina?
Well, it's alright. The pacing of the story is good, but the character relationships could use some work. When I was reading it before, I always felt like some things were left on a rather unsatisfactory note. I have high standards, you know. Ahem, Mr. Xavier, if, hypothetically speaking, I agree to be the director, how much freedom would I have in terms of script revisions and creative interpretation?
Oh, as much freedom as you would need. I wouldn't dare doubt the tastes of Fontaine's greatest star.
Good. Then I'm free to alter the script as I see fit.
Absolutely, no problem.
Да, может снять свой фильм. О.
All right. It seems that your crew really can't go on without my care and direction.
So, you agree?
Yes, I agree. Although the pay is well below what someone of my caliber deserves, a great script calls for a great director. I mustn't let a perfectly good story be ruined due to lack of funds. If you have fine cheese and bread, you wouldn't just let it sit on the counter and get moldy just because you lack an oven, right?
О, спасибо, спасибо. Я просто сажал хлеб и сыр отдельно.
Hydro Archon above! I'm not dreaming, am I? Somebody pinch me.
There's no more Hydro Archon, you know. And it's still a little early to celebrate. There's a lot that goes into shooting a film. Although the trickiest tasks of finalizing the script and casting the actors have already been taken care of, we'll still need to reserve filming locations. Not to say set up lighting and props. And by the way, since we'll be filming The Two Musketeers, we'll need to find an action choreographer. Ideally, a professional who has actual experience with muskets.
Yes, I've thought about this as well. I was hoping that you might know someone who could handle the job.
Me? If this was before, I could have simply asked Florand. But it's already been some time since I last talked to her. Navia can also use firearms, but unfortunately, her style is quite different from that of the characters in the story.
Could we ask the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol?
Oh, you mean the Special Patrol's Musketeers?
Yes, that's right. They work with muskets every day. I can't think of anyone more qualified than them.
They would be under Nervilette's jurisdiction. Unfortunately, I, don't have any connection with them at all. So, in the end, we still have to start by talking to Nervilette.
No need to go to all that trouble. I know their Captain Chevres.
Oh, you do? Wait, Chiori, how do you know the captain of the Special Patrol's Musketeers?
No particular reason. Running a business means dealing with some trouble from time to time, and she's helped me out on a few occasions. In return, I've helped her handle a few situations in which the Special Patrol couldn't get involved directly. So, we've gotten to know each other over time.
So you're saying there's been times when the Special Patrol needed a fashion designer to handle a situation? Your work is becoming more and more mysterious.
It'd be best to keep it that way. Anyway, enough about that. What do you all think about asking the captain to be our musket action choreographer?
She sounds professional enough. She is a captain after all. I have no objections.
But I imagine the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol must be busy with their duties. Do you think she'd really have time to help with shooting a film? And then there's the issue of pay.
Кайф хрюлячий.
It just so happens that she's also not the kind of person that's just after
На
more.
самом деле не знаю.
As for whether she has time,
Мне действительно начинает
I'll have
казаться,
to go and
что
ask her
Мьюзик был
first.
прав.
Then I'll leave that to you.
Что
Macaroni's on sale
сабы
today, so I've got to go.
с этого
You can just tell me how
макаронная
things went when we discuss
распродажа,
tomorrow's plan later.
так сказать, что сабы с шорцев это как макаронная распродажа, так сказать. Можно пойти и дешево купить, но, к сожалению, там будут только макароны, если вы понимаете, о чем
No
я.
problem.
Having Farina join feels like a big boost to our team.
Of course. Just wait until the day of our premiere. You'll witness the true power of my name in these lands. You'll be so glad I agreed to help. I can guarantee that even the standing tickets will be sold out. I'll be sure to ask some people I know to see if they'd be willing to act as extras.
Seems like you're finally getting more comfortable with your own reputation now.
I didn't ask for the Clapper Loader's commentary, Paimon.
Жду премьеру, хрювьеру.
then let's get going. I happen to know where Chevrolet is today.
By the way, I'm curious. If my pay is so low, then what about our two lead actors? Didn't they travel here all the way from Inazuma?
Actually, they told us that they see the trip as part of a cultural exchange, so they didn't ask for any pay.
What? So is every person in Teyvat who doesn't want money gathered here to shoot this film? Don't tell me Chiori isn't being paid either.
I already knew Xavier from before, and he's also agreed to give my brand some good exposure.
It seems the gods have really smiled upon you, Xavier. And that certainly doesn't include me, mind you.
Текс, 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 текс.
All right, this is the place.
But where's the captain? There's hardly anyone around here.
She's over there. The one with an eye patch reading in front of the newsstand.
Oh, her! Paimon could tell there was something different about her. She seems kinda intimidating.
Please wait here for a moment. I'll go fetch her. She's working now, so you might not want to get in her way.
Working? But isn't she just standing there and reading a novel?
Just trust me.
Oh, alright, let's see what happens then. Chiori sure is a mysterious person. She claims just to be a fashion designer, but she knows all these powerful people.
The court of Fontaine isn't particularly tolerant of visitors from overseas, so it isn't easy for a foreigner to promote their brand here. Even more so in the competitive world of fashion. Even a local like me just trying to make a film has to face all kinds of challenges. So I can only imagine what Chiori has been through to get where she is today. I'm sure that having more connections has definitely worked in her favor.
Reading on the job?
Detective novel.
One main character?
No. Multiple. Branching storylines.
I see. How's the plot coming along?
One of the main characters is about to make a choice that will affect the rest of his life. I'd wager he's going to make the wrong choice.
Any way to speed things up? There's something I need your help with.
You know that doesn't depend on me. It all comes down to what the character chooses.
Which is exactly why I'm here to help.
All right. It appears he made the wrong choice in the end. Halt!
Huh? What's going on?
Hand over whatever you're holding.
Oh, it's just a book. I didn't buy anything else.
Then I'm sure you wouldn't mind letting me have a look.
Excuse me, officer. I don't mind you standing around here, not purchasing anything, but I'd prefer if you didn't disturb my customers. It's bad for business, you know?
Don't give me that act. You won't be able to get off so easily either. I am Shavraz, captain of Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol. I will say this one last time. Hand over whatever you're holding at once. And before you do anything unwise, let me remind you that I'll have you on the ground before you can even think about making a run for it.
All right. I'll give it to you. But please let me say something first. If there's any contraband in that book, then the shopkeeper here is the one who slipped it in. I don't have anything to do with this.
Why, you trying to leave me on the hook, huh? You were the one who said you wanted it.
Save it for the interrogation room. Take them away, Letelier.
What's going on here? One second you're reading a book and the next you're escorting people away.
And who are... Oh! Aren't you the traveler who's been all over the papers recently? Chiori, I'm assuming what you wanted to ask me about has to do with them, right? Maybe I can let you in on what's happening then. Now that Vache has been brought to justice, no new shipments of synth will be made and distributed to sellers. The Fontaine guards have been busy collecting the remaining synths still circulating on the market. Thanks to a tip from our reliable source here, this should be the very last batch.
Oh, so you were pretending to read a book in order to catch the bad guy.
На самом деле очень сомнительная история. Я не думаю, что кто-то начал бы, ну, такое продавать в виде стоящего рядом, ну, офицера.
Hey, I'm Shavraz. You probably already heard me introduce myself, so I won't bother repeating it.
Не, почему ты их не арестовал?
Why didn't you make a move as soon as you had the chance? Were you worried that my intel wasn't accurate?
No, I wanted to see if the shopkeeper would turn himself in first. All he had to do was come up to me and say that he didn't know where the synth had come from. If he did that, then I wouldn't have had to press charges on him.
He had the whole day to turn the synth over to Shavraz. But instead, the moment I came up and blocked Shavraz's line of sight, he took the opportunity to sell it off.
Yep, he made the wrong choice, even though the right choice was right there in front of him.
But you knew they wouldn't make the right choice.
Yeah, I knew. I was just hoping I'd be wrong for once. Enough about that, though. What did you want to ask me about?
Oh, you see, it's like this.
The Two Musketeers. You certainly have a good eye for a story. So what do you need me to do? Just be the action choreographer for the actors?
Yes, that's right. I want to make sure we get all the details right. I want the actor's posture and understanding of firearms to be as realistic as possible. However, I'm afraid this work will require a bit of your time, since you'll have to be present whenever we're filming. Also, as for the pay...
No need to say any more. I'll join.
Huh? Just like that.
Ну,
Really? You're willing to help us with our humble film project?
Sure, it's no big deal. As I said, we've wrapped up our investigation here, so I don't have any other tasks on my plate for the moment. Besides, I personally really like this novel. I even have the collector's edition at home. Stories where justice prevails over evil never get old for me.
Then we've got a deal?
Yes, I'll see you on set tomorrow.
Да не, просто реально, они, видимо, забыли поставить таймер на перелистывание строчек, мне
Oh
кликать
my!
пришлось.
I can
Так на
hardly believe
колетке
it.
такое
I should tell
происходит.
Lady Farina immediately. Oh, and I must tell the prop manager and lighting technician to get everything ready. We start filming tomorrow.
Calm down, Xavier. The film is going to take more than just a day to finish. Still, I should also head back now and start preparing the actors' costumes and makeup.
Alright, guess that's it for today then.
Traveler, Paimon, please stay for a moment. I have something to tell you.
Then I'll take Xavier back. Poor thing. He's so excited that he can't even walk straight anymore. I don't want to spend our first day fishing our producer out of the fountain.
Ладно. Он скоро придет в себя.
He'd better.
Так. Разговора. Но я думаю, наверное, я не буду убивать Шеврес, потому что, во-первых, ну это 4-звездный персонаж, да, а как бы их выбить нереально практически целенаправленно. Во-вторых, у меня там ну, не очень удачный гарант будет, а в-третьих, ну, судя по наличию повязки, она выбирает вилку. Персонаж, выбирающий вилку, мне не интересен.
Have you read The Two Musketeers?
Нет, не читал.
The story is about a pair of children born into the household of a baron and their struggle to survive together and take revenge for their mother. They were raised at the baron's estate, where their mother worked as a maid. The two were illegitimate children that the baron had with the maid, so they were never treated well by anyone. One day, upon returning home, they found their mother had been murdered and left dead on the floor. It was quite
Давай.
evident that the culprits were the other members of the baron's household, who never had any kind words to say to them. However, the baron was able to exert his influence and keep the whole thing under wraps. The mother's death was eventually deemed as a suicide, and there was no chance of bringing her murderers to justice. The two siblings decided to flee and someday avenge their mother. Many years later, members of the baron's family suddenly started turning up dead one after the other, all killed by gunshot. A rainbow rose was found on each of the victims' bodies, being the flower that the kid's mother liked best. The baron believed that the mother's soul had come to take vengeance on him, so he lived in fear each day. But it was actually those two siblings who had fled all those years ago. They relied on each other to survive and trained day and night, eventually becoming adept musketeers. They used all of their abilities to collect evidence and clues before executing their plan and exacting revenge on the baron. Their actions let the truth behind their mother's death be known to all.
That's quite an exhilarating story.
Yep, the baron got what he deserved for his evil deeds, and justice was able to prevail. It was just the kind of story I enjoy.
Oh, so is that why you were so willing to join our crew, Chevrolet?
You could say it was one of the reasons.
Oh, you mean there were other reasons too?
I've read the reports about you. Whether it was at the trials or when you lent your hand to resolve our nation's crisis, you've shown that you've got a strong sense of justice, as well as a great mind for deductions.
Где что нужно помощь в расследовании, в
Yes, you're as
расхлюбливании?
sharp as I expected. It seems you've experienced many similar situations before. There's been a recent murder case involving muskets. The perpetrator's methods appear to be very similar to what is described in the novel.
Huh? Really? But Paimon didn't see anything about that in today's papers.
The Marechaussee Phantom hasn't yet released any information to the public because the investigation is currently at a standstill. The murderer is extremely cautious.
A murder involving firearms? But not that many people use those in Fontaine, right?
Да, возможно, это кто-то из твоего отряда.
Impossible. We perform a routine inspection of our firearms and ammo reserves every day. If one of the weapons had been fired, it would stick out like a sore thumb. Besides, I trust the members of my platoon. However, Well, that's all I can disclose about the case today.
Huh? What do you mean?
I hope you all can go back and get some shut-eye. You can decide tomorrow whether or not you'd like to join the investigation with me. I'm aware this might not be the ideal time to add more to your plate, but the more capable people we have, the better the chances that justice will prevail.
Так, а шо бы не взять помощников из
Carrying out
отряда?
investigations isn't actually supposed to be our responsibility. Our job is to apprehend the perpetrators. Finding them is really up to the Marechaussee Phantom. You could say I'm taking part in the investigation out of personal interest. I don't want people to see muskets in a negative way, and also, I'm concerned about the similarity between the crimes and the story.
You mean they might be connected somehow?
I suspect so. Just to make myself clear, this is not an order, nor is it a deal of any kind. It's a request.
Захотелось посмотреть какую-нибудь
If you two
криминальную
have any interest
Россию.
in the case after we finish filming tomorrow and are willing to assist me, then I would be most grateful.
Hmm. What do you
Вот
think,
столько жечки
Traveler?
фоткаешь. Так, это свиной рефлекс, так сказать. Поросенок видит еду и такой, ой, да, ням-ням-ням-ням-ням. Я так полагаю. Ладно, давайте завтра будем ли помогать.
My heart's getting a little tired too. We've really been hustling all day.
You'd better head back and get some rest. It's good to keep a calm mind, especially when you're about to make an important decision. Otherwise, when the moment comes, you might end up like that shopkeeper and not even realize that the right choice is right there in front of you.
Текс. Чё, то есть реально у меня засчитало это за... Да, реально. Как я понимаю. Да, наверное. Или нет, не понял. Еще есть какие-то быстрые испытания. Прикольно. То есть я могу-то пойти к этой, как ее зовут, так, с Катерине. Да, и закрыть. Ну, прикольно, мне нравится. Мне нравится.
Ad Astra. Thank you for Ad Astra.
Как же хорошо, что они добавили кнопку «Получить все» и рестарт. Сколько они облегчили мне. Тут всю вот эту вот рутину крикальную. Я не понимаю, почему они раньше-то не сделали. Это ж логично. О, собираем примагемуса. О, много примагемов. $220 аж. И много-много руды. О, и книжечек. Я богат. Кстати, интересно, какой сейчас у бездна баф? Персонаж получает склад, получает состояние урона. Может сказаться 3 раз. Ну, прикольно, то есть это, ну, блин, ну, в принципе, это логично, они всегда же под Навию, Хрюю и так далее собирают, как бы, ну, под актуального персонажа, короче, бездну выкатывают. Да, и в принципе баф от кристаллизации это мощно. Это очень мощно. Так. Что-то мне надо ждать 8 утра, да? Эх. Так сказать. Брум.
It's finally
It's finally day. Окей, let's go. Я, кстати, на еженедельное задание знатно забил. У меня вообще не прокачана репутация Фонтейна из-за этого. Хотя я как бы, ну, хочу крылышки, они прикольные, но что-то лень.
Good morning. Xavier said yesterday afternoon went well.
Yeah, and how about you, Ayaka? What were you up to yesterday?
After we split up, Ayato went to see Udex Nervillette at the Palais Mermonia. I was originally thinking of going with him, but he said he could manage it himself. He told me to go see the sights around Fontaine and to enjoy the local culture. So I rode the aqua bus with Yoimiya and visited the opera house on Aranias Island.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe what we saw there! 2 mechanical puppets that were dancing together! You've already seen them, right?
Да, видел я их.
Yeah, those two! Amazing, aren't they?
We sat and watched for quite a while. It was mesmerizing. Like we could keep watching them forever.
Oh, it was the same for us the first time we saw them, too.
Afterwards, we went swimming at the beach! Well, diving, to be exact. It was the first time I ever breathed underwater! I held Ayaka's hand and we counted down together. 3, 2, 1, and then splash! We were beneath the waves.
Вообще, конечно, если скинчики в следующем патче раздадут, это было бы очень прикольно.
But once I couldn't hold my breath any longer, I decided to take a big breath in. Turns out the water wasn't as salty as I imagined. It didn't really taste like anything at all. Before I knew it, I was breathing like normal down there. It was an amazing feeling. Ayaka said I was too nervous and needed to loosen my grip. She got used to everything way faster than I did.
I knew that the traveler
Не
could do
знаю,
it,
надо будет
so I
посмотреть,
had no
какие будут
doubt we could
скины.
do it too. That helped me feel at ease as soon as we dove in. The underwater world in Fontaine truly is beautiful. I love seeing the romaritime flowers blossoming underwater, like little candles lighting up the streets at night.
Yeah, and there were so many creatures that we've never seen in Inazuma. Like those fish that shimmer like a sword blade. Whoosh! Oh, and those big fish that call when they see people.
Oh, you mean Hunter's Rays and Blubber Beast?
Это я.
I
Пухлень.
just love the name Blubber Beast. Just wait till Pops and the others hear about this. They probably won't believe a word I say.
Пухлень это я сейчас сижу и
Yoimiya was down there for
откисаю.
quite a while. It was dark before we finally rode the aqua bus back to the city. I figured she'd want to sleep in today.
Yeah, even I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get up. I still felt like I was drifting in the waves when I went to sleep last night. But as soon as I woke up today, I remembered that we'd all be shooting a film together, and I was ready to go.
Speaking of the film, where's everybody else?
My brother and Xavier were speaking to the restaurant owner about using the place as a filming location. They should be here soon. As for the others,
We're here. Please excuse my tardiness. I just finished the Special Patrol's 6-mile morning jog.
Wait, 6 miles?
I'm so tired. I heard you all chatting, so I decided to come down. I sure could use some of that endless energy everyone else has.
Good morning, everyone. Morning. Can someone fetch me a cup of coffee? More milk, hold the sugar.
Sure, I'd be happy to do that for you. No, you can't go anywhere. Please, have a seat over here so I can get started on your makeup. The last thing I want is coffee stains on my costumes.
I can get the coffee. It's the perfect job for an assistant.
So much energy. Seriously, what's her secret?
Oh, Yoimiya's always like that. But you sure look exhausted, Farina. It's because you're not used to waking up so early, huh?
Of course not. I spent the whole night reading the novel from cover to cover, marking sections that either need to be omitted or adapted.
Wow. Paimon didn't expect you to be so thorough.
Well, I was the biggest star in all of Fontaine after all. It takes more than just a pretty face to earn a reputation like that. I know how to get serious when the situation calls for it. I went all out when I was acting as an Archon, so why wouldn't I do the same for my own life?
Here's your coffee, Director Farina.
Oh, thank you. The sound of being called director and the aroma of coffee feels almost as refreshing as hearing the birds chirping in the morning.
Ah, it seems everyone has managed to arrive on time.
We've reached an agreement with the restaurant owner. We are free to use the second floor to shoot our film.
Really? That's great!
He is really looking forward to our film, and hopes that providing his restaurant as a filming location will attract more customers. Well then, Mr. Xavier, I'll leave the rest to you.
Okay, thanks. First, I'd like to introduce our new members. This is our prop manager, Veronique. She'll be in charge of all the film's props and items. And this is Bonneau, our lighting technician. He'll be in charge of lighting and illumination to set up each scene's atmosphere.
Wow. Sure feels like we have some real professionals joining the crew now.
First of all, please allow me to first express my sincerest gratitude to everyone in the crew. When my investor informed me yesterday that he wouldn't be able to provide the funds, I really thought that this was the nail in the coffin for this film. I had no idea that I'd find so many people willing to help me on such short notice. Thank you. Thank you all from the bottom of my heart.
No need to be so cordial, Mr. Xavier. We're all honored to be a part of this.
Your works made a profound impression on me when I saw them back in Inazuma. I am sure that someday, this film will be remembered as a prime example of cultural exchange between Fontaine and Inazuma.
Yes, the story is the reason I agreed to join. I can't bear to even imagine what this film would look like without the very best director.
Anyway, I would like to make a promise to everyone that as the producer of this film, I'll do whatever I can to ensure that everything goes as smoothly as possible. This is not just my film. It also embodies the thoughts and feelings of every person here, as well as the endless effort we are about to pour into it. So, without further ado, the Two Musketeers will officially begin filming now! You may take it from here, Director Farina.
All right, listen up, everyone. The first scene takes place when the two young musketeers are living at the Baron's home, still unaware of all that is about to happen to them. We'll need props and lighting to set the scene. Our lead actors can go get their makeup done, and extras, please take this time to go over your
Здорово, с Новым
positions.
годом, с
Whoa.
новым
Seems
хрювом.
Farina's really kicking things into gear as the director.
Is everyone clear? I don't want anyone traipsing around the set like umbrella finches. All right, Cameras will start rolling as soon as the set is ready. Let's make a film that'll make some serious waves in Fontaine. Not the kind of waves that drown people. I mean, the good kind of waves.
Seems like she's still a bit traumatized by that. Anyway, let's go see if there's anything we can do to help.
Так, что тут от меня хотят? Мемы? Мемы, мемосики? Нет, не мемосики. С учетом того, что, ну, типа, зима и холодно. Интересно у тебя, конечно, выбор. Но я не знаю, как в твоих краях. У меня сейчас по ощущениям плюс 20. Ну, хорошо у тебя. У нас, потому что, ну, типа, холода капец. То есть я даже сегодня на балкон, когда выходил, чтобы взять хрючево, да, ну, мне пришлось реально одеваться, надевать куртку и так далее. Несмотря на то, что там лоджии стекленные и так далее. Потому что у нас там, ну, я не знаю сколько, но, блин, думаю, минус 20 опять какие-нибудь.
Ayaka has mentioned you to me before. She said that you two were great friends when you were kids.
No talking. I'm thinking about how to do your eyeshadow.
Ah, yes. To help me really look the part.
To achieve a more young and naive look for this scene.
Are you saying the wrinkles around my eyes are too deep?
You just have too much of a calculating look in your eyes.
You sure don't mince your words. It seems you really haven't changed much.
Quiet.
How about here?
A little more to the left.
You got it.
Hey, Yoimiya, do you need a hand?
No, I'm fine. You know, doing the lighting is kind of like designing a fireworks show. It's interesting to imagine what kind of atmosphere the lights will create. I heard that the Traveler will be operating the camera and Paimon will be the clapper loader, right? Those roles are just perfect for the two of you.
Really? Is that because it'll be easy for Paimon to hold the clapperboard while flying?
Well, sure, there's that, but that's not exactly what I meant. I just think that after all your journeys together, you two must have developed a super close bond and just naturally know how to work with each other. If I'm not mistaken, the director will want the cameras rolling as soon as the clapperboard goes clack.
Надо снимать заранее. Пушка потом
Oh, I
вырезается.
see. It's amazing to see the magic behind filmmaking.
Yoimiya, we need lights over there too.
Oh, on it! I've got to get back to work. Chat with you later. Oh, it's exciting to see so many people working together to bring the film to life.
Seems like Yoimiya's really getting into it. But she was right. We do have a super close bond.
Да, именно так.
Paimon's really happy to hear that.
So, this is a real musket?
No, it's just a prop weapon.
Not bad. Have you seen a real musket before?
Only in books and newspapers. I made this one based on the relative shape and proportions I saw in reference images. When we're filming, some special gunpowder will be applied around the muzzle, which will help create the flash and smoke effects of a real gun being fired.
Which means it'll be up to the actors to portray the recoil.
That's right. The sound effects for gunshots will also be added in post-production.
Thank you, Veronique. I think I know where to start now. However, the musket's gears and firing pin could still use some work. Adding some wear on the metallic components will make them appear more realistic. Also, be sure to rub the muskets with some oil each time before we start shooting. That'll give the impression that the firearms have been well maintained.
Good point.
You seem to know a lot, Miss Chevres. I assume you use these types of firearms on a regular basis?
Yes, I perform routine maintenance on my weapons every day. Just like we as people need to eat and sleep, muskets need to be cleaned and maintained.
I also perform similar care for my sword every day, and familiarize myself with its shape and weight, to the point where it feels like a natural extension of my body.
Yes. This way, our weapons will never betray us in the heat of battle.
Yes, well said. It seems we have the same philosophy on this topic.
Oh, sounds like they found a common interest to talk about.
Though these props
А я
differ
только
from
на
the muskets I use,
работу.
I can still give you some
Я бы и
pointers.
на нее не выходил, если б мог.
Good. I look forward to your instruction.
First and foremost, never point the weapon at anyone, regardless of whether it's a real or prop weapon, or whether you're holding it or it's on the table. This holds for any time when you're not actively engaging an enemy.
Okay, understood.
When aiming the musket, extend your arm so that it's level with your shoulder, and use your eye to look down the weapon's sights.
Like this?
Not bad. Now, try saying your lines.
This is the end of the road for you.
Good. Now turn your body a little. That way, you'll give your enemy less of a target to work with. And relax your shoulders. Here, allow me to demonstrate. This is the end of the road for you.
Huh. Excuse me, Miss Chiori.
Тупо какой-то гэнгста.
Director Farina, there's something I wish to
Да
discuss.
слушай, я на самом деле уверен, что я
Oh?
не ску в
What is
реальности.
it?
Ну, я как бы
Like this?
шучу, ну так.
Yes, much better.
What do you think?
I do see your point. But are you sure you wish to do this?
I believe it would be most fitting.
Well, if you insist. All right, I understand. Miss Ayaka, Miss Chevris, could the two of you please come over here?
Huh? What's going on? Are we gonna start filming now?
Let's go see.
What is it?
Здорово.
I have a question for you, Miss Chevris. Would you be willing to play the role of a musketeer?
What?
To clarify, I would like to turn over my role to Miss Chevris.
But brother...
Don't worry, Ayaka. I actually view this as a good thing. I was becoming troubled trying to set aside some time to speak to the staff at the Palais Mermonia. I would like to have some conversations about the cultural exchange between our two countries, and I've heard that the bureaucratic process here can get rather complicated.
Я скинул определение скуфа из интернета, но это как бы, ну, если прям жестко. А есть еще, так сказать, ну, общее мемное восприятие, так сказать. Как-то так, как-то так. Ладно, продолжаем играть в Genshin Impact. Ну, в общем, ждем от тебя тест на скуфа, Music. Один бинго. Ну, скидывай, короче, посмотрим. Может, мы соберем тоже с Хэви, так сказать, наше скуфидонство.
You also know that I'm not really one for public performances.
Are you really sure?
From a
Подожди,
director's
почему я
point of
говорю,
view,
что я не
I
скуф?
also
Как
felt
минимум, у
like
меня
the
все еще не
relationship between the
30.
two musketeers in the original story could be improved. The older brother in the story plays the lead role with his
А во-вторых, мой
overbearing
животный
character.
пивной и мясной.
But this causes his character to overshadow that of his sister, and the theme of the two supporting and relying on each other isn't conveyed very well. But if we were to change the
А я новую
siblings
бездну
into
еще не
sisters
поиграл.
of a
Она ж
similar
только сегодня
age,
вышла.
then
Я
that
вчерашнюю проходил
aspect of
как
the
раз
story might come through
с
more clearly.
испарением. Мощная была,
Also,
мощная.
I've seen you instructing Ayaka.
Типа текущая, но я посмотрел, да, что бафа от кристаллизации, ну, должна ощущаться, я думаю, люто. Я думаю, будет вообще прям в кайф лететь. Ну, потому что у меня есть и дед, и Ита с город, то есть будет прям мощненько. Единственный вопрос, ну, так сказать, до конца не раскрытый, это какие противники. Я не смотрел, может, там будет супер
Of
душно.
course, even with all these insights, the decision should still be made by Miss Chevrolet.
Chevrolet mentioned that she really likes the story, right? Paimon bets that she'll take the role.
Да, скинь мне в телегу, потому что иначе я боюсь, я не пойму, как зайти, так сказать. Уже закрыла и теперь ждать. Ну, блин. Вообще, на самом деле, на тему бездны в Геншине все не так плохо, как в Старрейле. В Старрейле теперь бездна раз в 40 дней. Ну, типа, одна на патч у меня, так сказать, жопа от этого, ну, прям разваливается. Схематозома. Допустим, ну да, это реально скам какой-то. Я понял, в чем скам, что, ну, типа, превьюшка одна оригинальная, вторая, как бы, ну, так сказать, китайский вариант Салика, который, ну, явно не столь хорош. Так, заходим в бинго. Все, захожу. Я зашел в бинго. Так, лысею ли я? Наверное, нет. Но я хочу верить, что нет. Пьешь пиво хотя бы раз в неделю? Нет. Мамкин политик? Ну, возможно. Добиваешься во что попало? Возможно. 30 плюс, не прохожу. Компьютерные игры как смысл жизни? Да, ешь какой-то хрючево. Да, я думаю, нет. Работаешь на заводе и т.п. Ну, все зависит от того, что подразумевать про завод. Да, но допустим, что да. На самом деле нет, скорее. Ну ладно, не люблю рыбалку. Тупые зумеры, да. Есть живот. Ну, думаю, да. Смотришь многомяч? Нет. Не занимаешься спортом? Думаю, да. Участвуешь в интернет-спорах? Думаю, скорее нет. Ешь ты хрючево? Ну, возможно. Лень бриться? Нет, мне не лень бриться. Я просто считаю, что мне лучше, ну, типа бородатым. Но мне не лень, на самом деле. Устал от жизни? Да нет. Забираешься в машинах? Нет. Любишь шашлыки? Да нет. Ну, типа так. Нет высшего образования? Да. Жена стерва? Нет. Я не женат. Квартира с советским ремонтом? Нет. Редко моешься? Возможно. Нет глобальных целей? Нет. Не, я не скуф. Я не собрал ни одного бинга. То есть, как бы есть, ну, одиночные какие-то косвенные признаки, но, скажем так, полной комбы я не собрал. То есть я могу официально заявлять, что я не скуф ни по одному, ну, типа, систематизированному бинго ряду. Так сказать, мы не знаем, мечтает ли она стать актрисой.
All right, I'll take the role.
Речь про Шеврюс.
Good. It's decided then. I'll get started on making edits to the script. We'll also need to make some immediate adjustments to the lighting, props, and costumes. I have a feeling that our adaptation will be even better than the original story.
You're doing a great favor for me, Miss Chevrolet. You have my gratitude.
Don't mention it. I like this character, so if anything, I should be the one thanking you.
Well, since my brother is the one who brought up the idea, I suppose there's no need to worry. Let's go, Miss Chevrolet. I look forward to working with you.
У меня я не
Please,
считал,
just call
сколько
me Chevrolet.
совпало, но не вряд. Так что все-таки ни
Seems
одного
like you're
бинга
really
нет.
going out of your way to solve the problem I was having with your makeup.
Surely you jest, Chiori. I assure you that I was mostly motivated by a desire to spend more time on formal business.
Oh, come on. You really think I'd buy that? According to what I've heard from Ayaka, her brother is someone who can juggle 10 different matters at the same time. I'm sure you have other reasons for backing out.
Perhaps. Ayaka always said she wanted to go out and see more of the world, just like the traveler. But I feel that she needs not only to see other nations, but also to make some different kinds of friends. I think it would be harder for her to make new connections with me constantly by her side. I would like to give her some space.
All right, go on. Spoil her some more.
Ayato, it's too bad you're stepping down from the role. Paimon really wanted to see you act as a musketeer.
Да, чтоб ты кричал, что это It's Justice.
No need to poke fun at me. I'd wager that you also felt that I wasn't the best candidate for the role.
It's a little hard for Paimon to imagine you saying those lines.
Собираешься вернуться к работе?
Yes. I've made an appointment to meet some people from the Palais Mermonia. Now, I will have some more time to prepare.
Сейчас. Блин, мне тяжело становится следить за сюжетом из-за этих бингах-ревинга.
Actors to your positions. We're about to start shooting the first scene.
Ну, я понимаю, но типа сложно, короче. Слушай, ну... Короче, нет. Ну, как бы единственное, что частично совпадает, да, это про любовь к российским сериалам. Ну, так, я бы не сказал, на самом деле. Это скорее такая ироничная любовь к тупизне, да. И вот самое последнее, но только вместо газеты у меня телефоны и анекдоты, и мемасы.
And please take good care of Ayaka.
В общем, удачи в работе.
Thank you. I look forward to seeing the film when it's finished.
All right. Now that we're all here, let me help set the scene for everyone. The first scene takes place when our two main characters are still living at the Baron's estate. They've been ostracized and verbally abused by others in the
Так смотри,
household,
это же не
but
означает, что
they
мы
still have no
вырвались.
idea
Это означает
why.
просто, что мы не
We want to
попадаем в
capture how
скуп
naive
бинго
and innocent they
и
are, despite
в
their
маргинал
pain.
бинго, да, как бы, но... Ну, как бы я из дома не выхожу вообще, да, то есть меня не выгнать, там, Хэви тоже, то есть, как бы, это явно, ну, признаки, ну, не нормисов, да, то есть никакие социальные активности, ничего. То есть, скорее всего, если ты достанешь какой-нибудь там аниме бинго или что-нибудь еще такое, то ты, так сказать, сможешь, ну, дать нам, и мы соберем его с очень большой вероятностью. Да, там задрот
Javris
бинго.
will be playing the role of the older sister, Tulip, and Ayaka will be the younger sister, Iris. Be sure to get close-ups of the main characters at the right moment. Silence on the set! Lights, camera, action! Let's go!
Tulip, Mother's been out for quite a while now.
Perhaps she went to pick some flowers on the way home. You know how she loves flowers.
Iris, Tulip, I'm home.
Навести камеру на мать, снять детальным планом.
You were out for so long, we were beginning to worry about you.
I'm sorry, but I'm back now, safe and sound. Here, I brought your favorite treat, apple turnovers.
Mother, what are those bruises on your hand?
Снимаем мать крупным планом синяк.
Huh?
Надеюсь,
What
дадут.
bruises? Oh, I must have bumped into something while I was working yesterday.
But I didn't notice them this morning.
Then perhaps they're from when I accidentally tripped when I was out just now. By
Сейчас
the way,
после съемок,
did you have fun playing at
так
home?
сказать, пройду.
What's the matter, Iris?
Фокус на Ирис.
We've realized that no one really wants to play with us.
They even took Iris's doll and spat at us.
And they even called us names. They said we were...
Shh. It's all right. Don't worry. Girls, listen to me.
С ним всех общим
It doesn't
планом,
matter
чтобы
what
показать, что они
anyone says.
вместе.
Don't listen to them. No one can define you with such words. You both have wonderful lives ahead of you. Just like your names. You will both blossom like beautiful flowers. Maybe your time to blossom hasn't quite come yet, but one day
You two will bloom more beautifully than
Вообще,
anything
ну,
else.
как бы, если бы я был бы, ну, зрителем этого фильма, я бы задался вопросом, почему, если, ну, вот мать выглядит так, да, у нее дочери, которые абсолютно друг на друга не похожи.
Don't let the soil you're in now ruin your future beauty. Understand? My dear daughters.
And cut! Not bad. The actor's emotions were all on point. Let's keep that take. Also, if our clapper loader could avoid shouting at the start of the scene next time.
Oh, got it.
Great. I was a little worried that my nerves would get the better of me. What about you, Chevros? I felt fine. The lines weren't too difficult at all. Seems like Farina must have adapted the role nicely.
You two were great. I
Так,
couldn't
ладно,
tell it was
все,
your first time
можно
acting in a
сделать
film.
паузу.
You should have more confidence.
Так, бинго 20+ лет. А, Да. Можно я не буду проходить и бинго на 20+ лет? Я не хочу. Ладно. Ладно, все хорошо. Хорошо. Сколько совпадет цифр, да? Особенно первый ряд. Да ладно, я шучу. Да я считаю, подождите. Я пытаюсь понять, сколько у меня совпадет. Я пока ржал, я не проходил. Я смотрел чисто случайные точки и ржал на них. Ладно, если серьезно. Слушай, у меня 6 или 7. Ну, типа, так. Нет, я не буду называть конкретные ячейки, но я вроде как не собрал ни одного ряда. Сейчас я проверю. Да, то есть я не собрал ни одного ряда, и у меня их всего 6 или 7. То есть у меня не так много получается оттуда собранных, но я их называть не буду. Как вы догадались? Так, ладно, что там на Нормисе, да? Так, сейчас. Так, первый ряд вообще ни одного не совпало, к счастью. Так, дальше. Дальше, получается, ни одно не совпало. Ну, не знаю, может быть, типа... Сейчас, подождите. Так, вот одно совпало, да. Возможно, второе совпало. Возможно, но я не уверен. Третье совпало. Так. Четвертое совпало. Только 4 совпало. Я вообще, ну, как бы, ну, не прохожу, так сказать. Ну, естественно, ни одного бинга. Так.
Thank you for your encouragement.
Positions, everyone! We'll move on to the next scene after we try a few more camera angles. This scene is when our two characters return home, only to discover their mother has been murdered. Ready? Lights! Camera! Action!
Mother, we're back! Mother? What's wrong, Tulip?
Iris, stay away!
Huh? Why? What's... Mother!
Блин, это мемное лицо можно на скрин, и потом хорошая альтернатива Тортилычу.
There's poison in this cup.
I could have sworn I've seen this kind of cup before.
Those aristocrats. They didn't even try to cover up their actions. Iris, we need to leave
Давай,
this place.
счастья, здоровья тебе в новом году и, так сказать, доломанной
Mother
шасси.
is gone. Where can we even go?
Anywhere. All I know is that we can't stay in this house.
But are we just going to let them get away with this?
We'll have our revenge, I promise you. Just not right now. Come on, let's go.
No, wait. We can't just leave Mother here like this. At least let me leave this rose with her. That's why we went out in the first place. To buy her this flower.
All right. Goodbye, Mother. We'll avenge you. Someday.
And cut! Beautiful! Great performance!
Oh my, you're so amazing, Ayaka! And were those real tears I saw? How did you do it?
I was surprised too.
Thank you for the kind compliments. Actually, as soon as Director Farina said action, I told myself not to think about anything. I just felt the weight of the moment and became the character. It's quite similar to practicing the art of the sword. You clear your mind and focus only on what's happening in front of you.
Ayaka's performance was amazing. Have I discovered an acting prodigy? Pipe down, everyone! We need to move on to the next scene! Huh? Are we done already? But Paimon wants to keep playing with the clapperboard. How do you feel, Traveler? Is your arm sore from holding the camera all day?
Было весело, это
Good work,
главное.
You too, Shivers. You were quite the actress today.
I've read this novel many times before. I have a good grasp of my character's mindset. Anyway, do you remember my request from yesterday?
Oh, right! We were having so much fun that Paimon nearly forgot! You have a case where the murders seem really similar to the cases in the novel, right? So, how are they similar exactly?
In the story, the main characters grow up to become two musketeers, always using their guns to carry out their revenge. And on each of the victims, they place a rainbow rose as a signal that they've returned.
Неужели в вашем деле тоже радужные розы фигурируют?
That's correct. We found rainbow roses just like in the novel. Seems like you're connecting the dots now.
Oh, that does sound pretty concerning. Especially after seeing the script today. Oh, now Paimon can't stop wondering what kind of ulterior motive the murderer might have. What do you think, Traveler? You're smart. Paimon wants to hear your thoughts.
Ну, я думаю, мы можем поучаствовать.
On behalf of Fontaine's Special Security and Surveillance Patrol, thank you for your dedication to justice. There's no time to lose. We should start investigating right away. Follow me.
Huh? Right now? Well, we just got done filming all day. Paimon's so tired.
The most valuable intel always comes after nightfall. They are like small, remote islands in the middle of the sea. If you don't stay vigilant, you will pass right by them in the fog. That's how one of my favorite books always puts it, at least.
So, where are we going right now?
Let's start by checking out some workshops that sell mechanical components. If the culprit is making their own weapons, it's very likely that they'll visit those sort of places.
Welcome to LeChaux's Clockwork Workshop. How can I help you?
Hello. I'd like to know if anyone has purchased some special components lately.
Special components? Sorry, could you be more specific?
I mean the kind of components that aren't typically used for clockwork toys, but for firearms.
Huh? For firearms? No, we don't sell those sort of things here.
Don't misunderstand. I'm not here to cause any trouble. We are merely investigating a case, and we're hoping that you could cooperate.
Well, to be completely honest, I'm not even sure what kind of components that would entail.
Has anyone ever purchased components here as an individual rather than on behalf of an organization?
We have a lot of customers who buy toys, but those who buy components are all regular customers who buy in bulk on behalf of their organization.
Is that so? I understand. Thank you for your cooperation.
You're welcome. It's the least I can do.
Oh, hey, Chevris. Run out of oil for your musket again?
Hello, Estelle. I want to know if anyone has come to your shop recently to order some firearm components.
Oh, is this another case? Let me think. I don't think so. Some people have requested that I make some prop guns for the Fontanalia Film Festival, but I refused all of those requests.
Oh? Why's that?
Because there's no profit! I only make things here that can do some real heavy lifting. I don't have the energy to make some new molds just for the festival.
Then has anybody come specifically looking for mechanical components?
Well, I usually sell off my scrap to the Fleuve Cendre. I don't typically give them to one specific person.
I understand. Thanks for your cooperation.
Don't mention it. Always happy to have the Musketeers' patronage.
Seems like we haven't found any leads to go off yet.
Yeah, unfortunately. Alright, let's head to Fliv Sandra next.
Huh? Are you sure? People might not be so thrilled to see the captain of the special patrol there.
You think so, huh? Then I guess you don't know.
Huh? Know what?
That I grew up in Fliv Sandra. Hello, I'd like to ask some questions.
I don't know anything.
Don't worry, I'm not here to arrest anybody.
You say that now.
It's the truth. Here, take this as my guarantee.
Wait, did Paimon just see what she thinks she saw? Is the captain of the special patrol bribing a citizen?
Это покупка
Seems
информации.
you're different from the other guards. What do you want to know?
Have you heard anything related to muskets in Fliv Sandra lately? Anything at all?
Muskets, huh? All I know is that about 2 weeks ago, we started hearing some loud noises at night. So loud that it's been waking me up.
Were they gunshots?
Possibly. It's hard to tell around here. Someone's house collapsing, a pipe exploding somewhere, it's all the same. But the noises I'm talking about definitely happened after I fell asleep.
Do you know where the noises were coming from?
I don't remember clearly.
Is it that you don't remember, or that you need to think about it some more?
You tell me.
Then please, think about it some more.
She's giving her even more mora.
Это фруктовый
The
мармелад.
noises came from the end of the southern waterway. I came out and had a look for myself when I wasn't sleeping well, but I didn't dare get too close. That's all I know.
All right, I'll take your word for it.
Thanks for the pâte de fruits.
No need to be surprised. I grew up here, remember? I know how to get people around here to talk.
Я тоже хочу фруктовый
My
мармелад.
apologies, I'm all out of sweets. Though I do have some other tempting snacks in my custody. Fries, fried chicken, and even onion rings. But taking care of junk food is my responsibility. You're better off sticking to your normal, nutritious diet. Now then, let's keep going.
В смысле, верните куриные эти крылышки, кольца и все остальное. Это мое. Это для меня.
It's been a while, Tetro.
Please, just get on with your request.
I want to know if you've heard anybody talking about muskets lately.
Information isn't free, you know.
I've heard that bandits have been extremely active in the countryside recently, and they've been affecting the delivery of goods to Poisson. I can allocate some more manpower to help out with that problem. What do you say?
You're still as helpful as ever. One of our men got drunk at dinner about a month ago and lost his gun. 3 days later, it turned up in the corner here.
What's weird about that? He just forgot where he put it, right?
This is Fliv Sandra, my friend. Anything of value left in the tavern won't ever make it to the next day. But that gun turned out to be an exception. It didn't get any new wear and tear on it, and didn't even appear to have been fired. We were quite mystified as to what could have happened.
I suspect it came back because the weapon was already known to the guards.
You mean, a criminal was afraid the Marechaussee Phantom would use the shot marks to track them down? Maybe. But if that's the case, the culprit really took great care to avoid getting caught.
I didn't say anything about a criminal.
In Fliv Sandra, knowing who was killed is as easy as knowing what clothes you're wearing today. It's the guy living in the east side, isn't it? I've never liked him. Every time he's here, he just orders a drink and sits there with a nasty look in his eyes.
So, who was the one who lost the gun in the first place?
Don't bother. Even if you ask, he wouldn't admit to owning a gun to some strangers. Not to mention the captain of the Special Security and Surveillance Patrol.
He's right.
I know you grew up here, Shavras. Even though you're on good terms with the Spina, you've still been gone too long. Not many people know you here now, and a lot of people don't like the Special Patrol.
I know.
So take my advice and don't show your face too much around here. It's for your own safety.
I'll come and go as I please, and I'm afraid I'll be appearing more often due to my work.
Капец.
All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Как же мы будем жить без свинины еще? А насколько принесли-то, на неделю или неизвестно?
What's all this? Some broken planks
А
and
его
barrels, as
нужно
well
будет
as some
посмотреть.
liquor bottles?
Yes, but have a closer look, Paimon.
Hmm?
Even though somebody has purposefully tried to clean them up, these are obviously marks from musket bullets. In other words, someone was here trying to improve their shot. They were using the barrels and bottles for target practice.
Could it have been the killer?
Your guess is as good as mine. Although many people at Fleuve Cendra own guns, few hide the fact from others. And even fewer would go to such lengths to hide markings from practice shots. Anyway, let's go. There might be more to this. Seems like that's all we'll be able to uncover for today.
Paimon feels like we managed to learn a lot more here than up on the surface.
Yes. Assuming that everything we found is indeed connected to our suspect, then their timeline was probably something like this. A month ago, our suspect found a gun and took it home to disassemble it. Once he'd figured out its mechanics, he brought it back. In the following weeks, he used some parts to create his own makeshift musket and took it to the Fleuve Cendra for target practice. Then, a few days ago, he found his target and carried out the murder. Once the deed was done, he left a rainbow rose on the body, just like the scene in the novel.
That all makes sense to Paimon, but we're still no closer to figuring out the killer's identity.
Расскажи об умершем.
The deceased was a resident of Fleuve Cendra. It's said that he was a poor, solitary man.
Да, нагрели, получается. Еще неделю ждать, а то и не одну. Разве, если убийца следует роману, убитый не должен быть дворянином?
That's also something I'm trying to figure out. If we are indeed following the novel, and there's a story behind the murder, then this murder should be an act of vengeance. But according to our investigation, the deceased didn't have any enemies. He was no saint, but no one's heard of a rival who hated him enough to shoot him dead, much less care to leave a rose on his body. What message is the killer trying to convey, and to whom exactly?
Мог ли это быть автор романа? Да не, я думаю, это подражатель.
Investigated that possibility. He claims to have spent the whole day at the Opera House on the day of the murder, and the staff there have confirmed his account.
Okay, so he has an alibi.
Not only that, he lacks a credible motive as well. He has a family of his own, and both of his parents are still alive. I've looked into his records. He was adopted at the age of 6, and all the proper procedures were followed. There are also records of him at an orphanage before then. In the story, the mother of the 2 musketeers was murdered after the children turned 10. Of course, he could have changed the children's ages, but I don't want to assume anything without evidence. More importantly, I've also had a chat with him in person. He didn't seem like the kind of person who would pull the trigger to kill a man.
У него есть брат, который
We have
убил.
all this new information, but it doesn't help us move forward.
Investigations take time. I didn't expect us to catch the culprit in just a single day. How about this? Let's spend the next few days filming with the crew. We can continue the investigation once we're done with the film. I'm sure that given time, new leads will present themselves.
Wait, but weren't you saying intel is like small, remote islands in the middle of the sea just a moment ago? Wouldn't you just miss them if you were to stop looking?
Ah, but the book had more than one reference to the islands, Paimon.
Oh? What else did it say then?
As long as you spend enough time sailing through the fog, you'll eventually come across an island.
А тут получается 5 квестов, да? В сюжетке. Кстати, странно, что короны нет. Но корона, может, в конце типа сюжета дается. А, корона вот здесь. Просто очень короткие. Понял, я хочу сейчас посмотреть эти. Посмотреть, ты говорила, мини-игра прикольная, как я понимаю, вот это со стрельбой, да? Вот, я хочу чисто вот эту штучку посмотреть. И, так сказать, на боковую, на чильную, на хривильную. Мало, очень хочется больше, понял. Ну вот я и хочу глянуть тогда. Так сказать, палата хривинаш, моя любимая. Здрасте. О, это же это. Турена, мы с ней играли в карточки. Эти позиции построите шеренгу, поднимите мушкеты и что-то там еще принять участие в специальном событии, организованном особым патрулем по охране и наблюдению. Возьмите в руки мушкеты, почувствуйте себя настоящим мушкетером. Мушкет? Мы не слишком с этим знакомы. Глядя на этот стенд, прямо не может удержаться от вопроса, как это все связано с кинофестивалем Фонтинале. А, элитный воин уровня Мегабосса, какими судьбами? Если вы поможете с рекламой моего стенда, я непременно выполню свою задачу. Я ничего не понимаю. Ох, элитный воин — это очередное странное прозвище для меня путешественника, да? Именно так, это ваше прозвание. Так вы известны среди жандармов. Возможно, вы не помните, мы уже встречались. У меня заурядная внешность, даже лук весьма посредственный. Неудивительно, что вы обо мне забыли. В общем, давайте представим, что это наш первый встреча. Турен, стажер особого патруля по охране и наблюдению. Мои обязанности входят в выполнение разного рода инстинктов заданий. Да я помню, мы с тобой играли. Учитывая популярность кинофестиваля, особый патруль надеется использовать все успех, привести поиск, видимо, этих потенциальных жандармов среди населения. Тогда перед вами симулятор стрельбы, известный как зона кучной стрельбы с учетом угловой минут на 1000 шагов, похоже на модельку Курта Фонтейна. Да, но только Курда Фонтейна. Макет позволяет менять область, так что при желании можно переключиться на дикую природу. Правда, он выглядит не так эффектно, как Курда Фонтейн. В сочетании с специальными очками, безплатно для нас в исследовательском институте Фонтейна игра позволяет имитировать, уничтожать врагов со стыка, делать настоящий стрелок особого патруля. Почему симуляция целится след по мишени, так? Название так трудно разобраться. Что значит слова кучность и угловая минута? Я придумал название событий, становится на известной фразе капитана Шавреус, которая как нельзя лучше выражает наше высокие устремления. Выдающийся стрелка из мушкета всегда стремится к точной стрельбе. На дистанции в 1000 шагов кучность стрельбы должна быть менее угловой минуты. Конкурентность с учетом точности современных мушкетов массового изготовления, а также стратозрения наших снайперов, рассеивание менее одной угловой минуты, маловероятно даже при стрельбе с расстояния менее 100 шагов. Что же говорить о 1000? Но я бы не стала перечить капитану Шеврёс. Притормози на секунду, пойми, за тебя голова кружится. Просто хотим получать удовольствие. Элитный воин уровня мегабосса абсолютно прав. Иногда не стоит слишком много думать, надо просто попробовать. Когда я только вступил в патруль, капитан Шеврёс сказал мне то же самое. В общем, возьмите эти очки, когда будете готовы, можете начинать игру на симуляторе. В сторону разговора пора переходить к действиям. Помимо всегда было интересно кого-то стрелять из мушкета. Похоже, будет весело. Я готов. Ага. Well, сейчас попробуем. Пойдем поиграем. Отлично, в этой игре не расходятся реальные боеприпасы, мишени требуют ремонта, поэтому можно стрелять сколько угодно. Кайф. Хочу пострелять. Так сказать, разминка перед турецким. Цель, стрелять с пулечки. Цель. А, надо, типа, может, как-нибудь иначе был. Симулятор ПВКС, но тут пуля не моментально летит, кстати. Определенное исключение, так сказать. В кейсе что-то более-менее моментально всякие эти штучки, дрючки происходят. А я не вижу врагов больше. Я вижу. Лол. Извините. Ну, прикольно. Так, что там у нас дальше? Что там у нас дальше? Начнем тренировочку. Наш придется высокоценный груз, надо защищать его, да? Понял. Прикольно. Ой, он так остановился неожиданно. А можно тебя не будет толкать, пожалуйста? И что дальше? Не, все. Главное, что здесь никаких бочек не поставили. Вот тут вот норм. Прикольно. Пиу-пиу-пиу. Тупо жди персонажа, который будет струлять со снайперки. Дробовик уже есть. Она будет стрелять, ну, типа, я хз, именно полноценный, ну, то есть, именно полноценный снайпер ДД. Шеврёст, я так понимаю, ну, не сильно дамагер. В итоге будет, ну, как минимум, потому что 4 звезды. Говорится, это была ошибка. На Балистофа, да. Да. Вот это, конечно, да. Да. Тупо сложнее, чем в турецком, так сказать. Струлять. Согласен. Вот мне только не нравится то, что типа реально неписи об эту тележку толкаются. Получается просто анекдот какой-то. Еще, конечно, интересно, что попадание в голову, ну, не имеет смысла. То есть можно реально целиться в туловище. А я пытаюсь голову выцеливать в основном чаще всего. Не знаю зачем, по привычке. Ну, прикольно, мне понравилось. Бэм-бэм-бэм. Сразу видно церковчанин, да. Бэм. Так, ладно, получается, дейлики закрыты. Экспедиция перезахрювлена. Ну, как бы сюжет... Ну, эту штуку я закрыл. Осталось еще 3 мини-игры и... Сюжет я, наверное, завтра пройду. Сейчас реально хочу пойти поотдыхать, что, так сказать, после новогодних кривлений, ну, хочется просто быть тюленчиком, пухлинчиком. Да, так сказать, мар-мар-мар. Спасибо за захождение, за кривление. Всем пока.